You probably know of the good morning exercise, but did you know there is a way to make it even better for combat athletes? Before we get to it, please make sure to like, subscribe, share the video if you get good information from these videos. So I'm gonna have some footage of me performing the original good morning as I talk about this, but the good morning is often used in muscle building circles, physique athletes to develop the hamstrings, the glutes, and the lower back. The reason the good morning is used over the remaining deadlift or as a separate movement to the remaining deadlift is the bars move further away from the point of rotation, so you need less weight to put the same stress on those muscles. Now, I typically don't program the good morning in combat or athletes generally, just because it causes a lot of muscle soreness, especially in the hamstrings, and can be a little sore on the lower back, especially with those who have previous injury. But there is a way that I like to use the good morning that kind of eliminates that and still gives you quote unquote power transfer to the sport of combat, and instead of being focused on building muscle. This variation was taken from my wife, who spent many years in different weightlifting training camps around the world. This one comes from Egypt. The Egyptian national weightlifting team would use this good morning variation. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I've never seen anyone else use it except for my wife and the Egyptian national team. So it's a relatively newer exercise variation. So I'm gonna roll some footage over top of this, but instead of going hips back and then thrusting the hips forward, keeping your feet flat on the floor, you're gonna have a little more knee bend as you move back into the good morning. So you have a little less stretch on the hamstrings. And as you fire forward during the concentric, you're gonna come onto your toes. And here you're not focusing fully on hip extension like you do with good morning. And I believe there are better exercises anyway to develop hip extension. But for this, you're able to explosively coordinate the hips coming through and coming onto your toes, very similar to an Olympic lift or Olympic weightlifting derivative. Where I believe this fits within your training program, especially if you're an older athlete, over 40, you've got a lot of mileage behind you on your joints, this can be a great replacement as a quote unquote power exercise to use within your training, where you're not going to have impact landings and maybe having to pull heavier loads from the floor. You can use something like this, friendly on the joints, and it shouldn't hurt so much. So as an older athlete, this makes a great exercise. Even if you're not an older athlete and you're looking for an exercise to develop speed, power, strength, this can be an exercise that can be worked into your routine as part of a weightlifting derivative as such. So if you don't want to perform hang clean high pulls, snatch high pulls, etc., this can be something you use instead, especially if you don't have bumper plates or you don't have a platform, etc. You can do this off the rack, and it can be used in that scenario too. Regarding sets and reps, anywhere from 2 to 4 sets, typically 5 to 8 reps in that rep range works well. You can go even lower in the rep range, but you don't want to load this one too heavy, as it can be difficult to do under heavier loads. But please check out the link in the description to the Sweet Tarts Fighting Underground, all the training programs, online courses. The private Discord community is there. Also, you can send your grappling matches for match breakdowns privately within the community to be broken down by Ryan Villalobos, 2nd degree black belt. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. Comment below. Have you seen this variation before? Is this something that you've done? Is the good morning part of your training program? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.